All right, so we're coming home to Nigeria, where Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has revealed that the country is set to utilize its legal provisions that empower the federal government to collect taxes on profits made in the country by global tech and digital firms not based in the country.
Now, he noted that while the federal government will not be raising tax rates by this time, based on the Financial Act of 2019, it is already empowered to widen its tax nets. Now, that includes imposing taxes on the Nigerian income of global tech giants with significant significant economic presence in the country. Now, even if they have not established a fiscal office or permanent establishment and are currently not paying taxes in Nigeria.
Well, let's tell you what Nigeria's Finance Act of 2019 says about Company Tax Act. So it says, quote, a company will pay taxes if it transmits, emits, or receives signals, sounds, messages, images, or data of any kind by cable, radio, electromagnetic systems, or any other electronic or wireless apparatus to Nigeria in respect of any activity, including electronic commerce. Now, application store, high-frequency trading, electronic data storage, online adverts included, participative network platform, online payments, and so on, to the extent that the company has a significant economic presence in Nigeria and profit can be attributable to the activity. Well, to really make sense of this all, let's bring on Tomiwa Aladekomo. He is the CEO of Big Cabal Media, Tech Cabal, and Zikoko. Welcome, Tomiwa. Good morning to you, to Breakfast Central. Hello, Tomiwa. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning, Tomiwa. Now, tell us your thoughts exactly on the Vice President's comment regarding taxes, especially for tech giants in Nigeria.
I think there's some value to it. As with a lot of things like this, it does depend on the implementation. It depends on the government engaging in detail with these platforms. I think there's a global movement to tax the big technology companies more robustly across the world. And you'll see that a couple of weeks ago, the G7, which is sort of the 7 leading economies in the world, kind of except China, came together and agreed on a minimum tax. And that's really targeted at tech giants who frequently operate in one company and will make a lot of their profits in other countries. And so this is a move that's happening across the world, but its implementation really, really matters. And the challenge with the Nigerian government is that they don't always think through the impact of these things. They don't always engage fully with these tech platforms. You have to consider the economic impact of things like banning a tech platform from operating in your country, the kind of hardship it imposes on people who've built businesses on it. But should the Nigerian government attempt to collect tax from companies that are making, that are driving economic value, because a lot of these companies, I mean, profitability is quite interesting to talk about in the tech industry. I think it's fair for the Nigerian government to attempt to impose taxes. Implementation, proper engagement, doing their homework, and above all, considering the impact of any of their actions on the Nigerian populace, on its ability to make a living, on its ability to engage with the internet is absolutely critical.
All right, Tomiwa. Now, walk us through what this move means for the Nigerian government, and especially for you guys in tech. And when you say big global tech companies, let's mention names. Who are they talking about here? Who are they targeting?
We're talking about Facebook. We're talking about Twitter. We're talking about Netflix. We're talking about YouTube, which is of course what Google. Those are the kind of platforms that the government has so far said that they are targeting. What does this mean for the Nigerian tech industry? For us, I think what's critical is that any regulation be thoughtful, that it not foreclose economic activity, that it not make Nigeria look like a hostile and difficult place to do business in. And so with long engagement, with thoughtful consultation with people within the Nigerian tech industry, with thoughtful consultation with the global tech players, whether it's your Facebooks and your Netflixes, etc., there definitely is the opportunity to impose a tax that's seen as fair, to come to a solution that does not prevent people from wanting to do business in Nigeria. I think what really hurts us as an industry is when the government makes rash regulatory moves without doing any sort of cost-benefit analysis, without engaging extensively with the industry ahead of time, without considering the implications for the people. Those are the places where you then have adverse effect on the Nigerian populace, on the industry, and on our economy, because we're not such a big economy that we can afford to drive away any productive economic activity. And of course, the internet and technology is where sort of the future is, and some of the most promising businesses in the country are.
Right, cost-benefit analysis, or as it were, the SWOT analysis for any business concern. Now, collecting taxes from foreign tech companies, it seems to be a new resolve, not just for the African countries, because if you look outside the African continent, you have Europe right now who is also asking questions and charging the likes of Facebook, Google's, and other tech companies. How do you think in this particular case, especially in Nigeria, where one of the tech giants, Twitter, has been banned, how do you think this will benefit Nigeria?
Again, we need more taxes. As a country, we don't collect enough taxes from the businesses that do business here, whether they're Nigerian or they're foreign. And so if the Nigerian government is successful in engaging with these companies and actually increasing our tax base, that's fantastic. The Twitter ban, as Tekabal wrote in an editorial, we thought was wrong-headed, we thought it was rash, we thought it was done without a lot of consultation. But I will say that it has been effective in that it has brought Twitter to the negotiating table with the Nigerian government, which they could have accomplished without banning something that millions of people make a living off of in the country. But there's ongoing engagement between Twitter and the Nigerian government at the moment. And things like taxes will probably get worked into that conversation. Will the Nigerian government sort of land on the right side of this? Will they accomplish their goals? I think that's yet to be seen. Will they be able to convince these companies to pay taxes here? Again, it's yet to be seen. And I have to say, these companies are big. I mean, something like Facebook, it's probably the size of the Nigerian economy by itself as a single company. And so they don't agree to taxes very easily. And they don't like to set precedents, because once you've agreed to it for Nigeria, then every country in the world, every country in Africa at the very minimum is going to be coming after you. But countries all over the world will take that as a signal. And so those will be very, very tough negotiations, and it's yet to be seen whether the Nigerian government will actually get their way. But is the initial initiative or impetus to collect taxes from these players correct? I think yes, I think that's fine.
All right.
Probably the other place that we should be a bit careful of is we have a government that has shown itself to be fairly prone to censorship and to sort of reducing the voices in the public space. And we should worry that this becomes another way for them to force these platforms to reduce the voices of the people, or to prevent people from speaking openly about their lives, about the challenges with the government, etc. So that's probably an area where, as citizens, we should also be concerned.
All right, thank you very much, Tomiwa Aladekomo, CEO of Big Cabal Media and Tech Cabal and Zikoko. Really great elaborations. Yes, it's a case of tech and taxes, the two T's in the modern world. Thank you very much once again, Tomiwa.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Now, more top stories right here. Breakfast Central.